Okay, 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 okay. No, no, you might have a clue what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good enough.
You might have a clue what's going on. Yeah. Anyone else? Science? Science? Kushwe? Kushwe? Okay. So this, what I'm going to basically talk to you guys about now, and then we're going to do a bit together, is some of the basics of genetic engineering, basically. Yeah? And how it works, and so on and so forth. So let me ask you guys a question about GMOs. Who thinks that with GMOs we should label the foods? If it's a GMO food, if you don't understand, you can just put your hand up or not, it doesn't matter. GMO foods, should we label them all the time? And if you don't understand the question, you can ask me. Yes, we should? Yes, we should, okay. No, we shouldn't? Down with the law, no Americans here? Yeah, no. Yes, you say yes also? Okay, we've got 3 yes, yes, we're saying yes, yeah? Yeah? No comment? You're a GMO? Yeah? You don't want to, yeah, you don't want to implicate yourself. You can't objectively comment on it. Anyone else? Any ideas about that? So, I mean, when we say, so this is something to ask, right? If I say to you, should we have GMOs or should we label GMOs? Should we do GMO research? That's another question. Yes or no? Yes. We definitely should. We definitely should. So, you're not sure. Okay, so we got 3 yeses from the labeling crew and a reluctant, pensive, I'm not too sure yet. Yeah, ask me after the workshop, right? So we should do the research, but we should also be sort of explicit about if we're labeling what. If we label a protein that gets generated in a cell, like right now insulin is a GMO, should we label that? If we make that, we generate that in a bacteria. Should we be saying, okay, you're getting GMO insulin right now, or, you know, this is insulin I took off the guy in the bed next to you, you know? Because one common thing that we say is, oh, with GMOs, if it's a crop, it's a crop in the field, and then it gets to the grocery store. Okay, this is one type, right? So we can genetically modify crops, right? And we can then, you know, maybe we modify them because we want to have resistance to something, right? There's some bug or pest, right? And we want to modify it so that it's resistant to that pest, right? Or we want, you know, it to just be bigger, you know, or something. Or we want tomatoes to be red. They're turning yellow and stuff. And they're still good, but no, people don't think that tomatoes should be yellow, right? So you've got some consumer demand or health thing or pest thing, something like this, right? So this is one place where we can do genetic modification. There's a ton of other places where we can do it, right? And for instance, insulin. So insulin, we can use bacteria as a kind of factory, yeah? And it's producing proteins. Are those the same proteins as the proteins that would be in you? When you have insulin, your body produces insulin and you isolate it? Or you get the gene and you put the gene into bacteria, like we're going to see exactly how. Is that the same insulin that we have by the end?
I mean, you should have like equipment that can detect it, right?
You could test it, right? So no comment, let's test, right? Right? Or you should be able to test, and if you can't, what are you doing in science? Oh my God, right? Yeah? So maybe you can test that, right? Yeah, we can, right? I mean, does a test tell everything, you know? I mean, we're always devising new ways of testing, different ways of doing it, and so on. I mean, like, but basically you're saying you can test it, and the implication is that, yeah, they are the same, and you can even verify that, right? Now, you could say the same thing and maybe disagree, right? The scientific consensus is that, yes, they are, right? But, I mean, this has to be established, right? We have to kind of put that out there. Now, if that's true, then, and I would say that the popular opinion also sways towards this, it's almost nonsensical then to think of, oh, you know, well, where do we get it from? What does it matter? It's the same thing, right? When we have sugar, or we have different molecules, all kinds of stuff we generate in a synthetic chemical way. But if it's the same chemical, then that discussion's different, right? It's a different, this is a sort of another part of the GMO discussion, right? Now we can also, what if I this is here we've got like a wood table. It's got some kind of a finish on top of it. Okay, for this finish, I needed to produce some plasticizing chemical, you know, something that would get hard and smooth, right? And the way I found it, I was doing it in my factory. I was doing it chemically before, but now I found it's cheaper, it's It's more efficient. I get better results when I get some E. coli bacteria. I do the genetic modification I'm going to show you. And then that produces now, in its chemical pathways, this chemical, you know. Is that something that should be labeled? Should we label this table that this is a GMO table? Yeah? We should. What do you guys think? Are 4 GMO yays? Still yes? Still yes? Tina? You're not sure. Okay. So it changed something, right? It changed something. There's some, I'm going to project a little bit that maybe there's something a little less at stake, perhaps, in a finish on a table than, say, something that you eat in your body, right? So at the very least, re-answering it makes sense, right? So anyways, we can go on about all the different technologies. This lecture isn't going to be so much about all the different ways in which we use, all the different ways we modify things and how they exist in our economy and stuff. But though by all means, you can ask me about that, and that's where discussion can go after I sort of show you some things. What I'm going to do is tell you how that's done, yeah, and how you can potentially do it, sort of the first steps to do it, yeah. Where is it done? How is it done? I mean, we'll touch on that, and we'll continue this sort of prelude. But this is sort of the why and wherefore, right? Like everybody, I think, no bio background, and yet this is perfect for me because it's like this more and more is the bio crowd that we have, right? People who have not studied bio, it has become so prevalent in our society, you know? It's become so dominant. Genetic engineering and synthetic biology, what the hell are these things? But I got to know something about it, right? Somehow I got to, okay, some people are just being nice and they're, you know, nice to me and coming and yeah. But there's a relevance to this topic more and more to people who aren't trained in the field. Just like technology. Technology, we can say this in a very, very strong way, right? Everybody has a cell phone, but what can we really say about, you know, who knows every single part of this phone, how to engineer it, even people who work for Samsung, you know, they'll know some parts of the assembly and some part. Even here in the Fab Lab, we have this sort of, you know, there are people here who have a broad knowledge of a lot of different things, but there's still, you get to endpoints, you get to proprietary points, you get to, okay, I know it's this kind of chip, but then I've never studied this branch of it. Everybody has to use them, everybody has to deal with them, and yet the science is something that most of the people are using and we're not professionals in, right? So there's a lot of talk in different ways about how biology is becoming in certain ways analogous to this digital thing, right? In ways it's true, in ways it's not. In a way it is true is that it's becoming more and more every day, yeah? So more and more very complicated, you know, sort of hi-fi bio is becoming kind of in your face, right? It's like it's thrust into you're asked the GMO question. Maybe not in the most explanatory way, in my opinion, sometimes, right? It's still a good question, but I think a lot of this means that we need more and more of this science education, but science education that's public education that's participatory, you know? This is what I hope to kind of do in this kind of series that, you know, that I'm doing and what we do here, I think, in the Fab Lab, in the Bio Lab, right? Art of sustainable science, you know, is my overarching kind of theme, and it's about these things that are affecting us in different ways. We did medicine, we actually did a physical transformation, and now we're going to do basically how to design an organism, right? So there's one way to learn, right? One way to learn is to get behind it. Now, if it's affecting you anyways, I think there's a citizen sort of need for it, right? So that's the prelude. That's the prelude. I will do my very best. We can make this as interactive as possible. I want you guys to interrupt me, to talk to me, to ask me questions, okay? I'm going to give you a basic schematic. It's not going to, we're going to do it in a way that, you know, you guys are with me and it's working. Yeah, this is geared towards people who don't have a background in it. So this is me. I'm like an artist and a scientist. I'm Canadian. I'm sorry about Huawei. I had nothing to do with it. I don't approve. So I'm going to start with this. So in 19th century Germany, let me ask you before we get to that. Let's go back to my funny face. What's a cell? What is a biological cell? Maybe you can steal it off the slide because I put it up there, right? If you're fast. Is it just me? Am I pretty, or you want the info? Okay. I don't look that good, right? Yeah. What do you guys think? What's a cell? What constitutes a biological cell? It's hard to tell you that this table is a cell. Is it a cell? Yeah. It's a cell? It is a cell. Yeah? Why is it a cell? What?
Used to have.
Because what?
I mean, it used to be a living tree, but right now it's just spider.
Okay. Okay. So it used to be a tree. Now it's become a cell. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So tell me why. Tell me why. So it used to be a tree, and now it's a cell. Is that your explanation?
No, like I just think.
Meaning it's got cells in it, like the tree did.
Yeah.
Is that your point? Okay. Okay. So this isn't one cell, but it has cells. Yeah. So it had cells. Yeah. Are there still cells in there? Are there? The tree, the cells that were in the tree, are they still in this table?
They're still in, but they dead. They die.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you again. The cells that were in the tree that was this table, are they still there? If I cut this open and I got it over on it's an electronics microscope or whatever, you know, they can learn to use it for bio, and we put it under there, would I see cells? I would see cells? Yeah? Maybe.
If you crack an egg and make it into a fly egg, it should still a cell. It's still a singular cell, right?
Right. Right. This is good. You're really on top of it. So why would he say that? Why is that a really, really good example? An egg. What about an egg? What is an egg?
It's a cell.
It's a big frickin' cell, right? It's a big embryonic cell. And yeah, it maintains its form, right? Is an egg alive? No? Not yet. Once you eat it. Once it's in my stomach, it's alive in me, so it's kind of alive, yeah. Is it not yet? Okay, that's my favorite answer for that. Not yet. I'll get there. I'll resurrect it. Hold on. Just let me make an omelet. Just give me a second here. So for the rest of you who aren't able to resurrect eggs, is an egg alive? It is alive. Yeah? If I were to say, I don't believe you, I think it's dead, I'm going to go out on a limb and just throw that out there. What would you reply?
I think like it's still alive because we can like the egg can have like a sort of life. And I don't agree if it's cooked. I don't know. I don't think, but maybe before like.
Then it's dead. When it's cooked and he's eating it, then you disagree with him. Yeah, it's not alive. Yeah. Okay. That's good. This is what leads to good scientific hypotheses, disagreement, you know. He's eating the egg, he's like, it's alive. She's like, no, you're tripping out, yeah. It's what you ate before eating the egg, you know. So you're saying then, while it's still, before it's cooked, while it's in the yolk.
Yeah, because sometimes it happens that you break the egg after a long time, like, but
Yes.
you don't consume it and you see like some like parts of it that are like whiter, and it seems that it's getting mature a little bit. Without even like having like the bird inside.
Yeah. Without having the
Like for a long time.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a tangent, but I like the egg thing. The egg is a really, really nice tangible way of looking at it. If she, so Carla has her, bienvenido Alberto, bienvenido. Yeah. No, don't worry. If we take Carla's egg and then we leave it for half a month or a month, and she's saying, oh, it's becoming white, yeah? Something's happening. It's not the same as the nice, yeah? Maybe you won't eat it? Yeah, it's becoming different, right? Is this going to hatch? No, it's not? It's not going to hatch? You guys kind of have to tell me in China, because this actually is a localized question. Why do you say no?
Because you didn't put it into when you say egg, you didn't say if it's a sterile egg or giving birth. When it says it's turning something, it's going bad, but that's because there's still cells
So there
inside.
should be something alive.
Change an edible egg into an unedible egg.
Which for you would kill it, right? Yeah, he's unorthodox in this, yeah. Once he's eating anything, it's alive, yeah. Okay, so then what did you say? You guys said in the beginning, you said what? You said that it's what kind of egg? Sterile and fertilized, yeah?
Well, we didn't talk about, so it seems like alive, it doesn't mean there's a chick coming.
Okay.
Goat divides like
Yeah, yeah. So you're saying that that's not what we meant when we said that it's becoming alive. You were the one who said that. Was that what you meant? When you said that, that the egg is becoming alive, did you say that the chicken's going to be born?
No.
No.
Of course not. Like,
It would be nice though, right? Yeah, it would be
I'm
nice.
just saying that there are changes in its components inside. So not that bird is like.
Yeah.
there's no-
So you can't.
it's
So
like impossible.
well, no. But hold on. But actually, no. If
like
you.
like you can see some, like it's not like, I'm not saying like it's getting bad, but I don't know, like it happens that I could see like, I don't know, something that is getting, now I don't have the scientific words to explain what is that part.
Yeah.
I never analyze it, so.
Yeah. Neither do I. Yeah.
Maybe if it become a bidan, a thousand-year egg, it chemically changes.
Are you talking about those crazy green frickin' like those? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I felt like I was in the middle of a biolab experiment when I was like, oh my God. Yeah. This is not the. Those are really. Yeah. They're like they age for like months or something, and yeah, and they look crazy. They're green and black, and yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, when I was like, I need to bring this to the biolab, not eat it. That's what I want to do. Anyway, all of those are right in different ways. I mean, there's going to be bacterial growth and sort of like microorganismal growth and so on if you leave it for a while, because it's a good food for either, for either yourself or for, bacteria, right? So it's that high quality of a meal, either for shinshijin or for bacteria, right? And then on the other hand, no, there are fertilized eggs. If you go to a farmer and you buy an egg and you leave it, you don't need to incubate it. If you incubate it, then you'll get a better chance. It'll move quicker and so on. But sometimes room temperature is enough. There's not like a strict sort of temperature range, Actually, I don't know. I should probably look that up. But it's not like, yeah, you need exactly this temperature. Like it's that it's warm under the body of the mother and this kind of a thing, but then, if it's left for a bit and so on. The thing is that it's fertilized. That's the key, right? That there was actually males running around. Now, most of our eggs, certainly in Canada, this is really hard. Really hard to find fertilized eggs in a grocery store. But in other countries, no, not always. I go to farmers markets and stuff, a lot of the time the egg will be fertilized. So if you take that home, you put it in an incubator, or you leave it out, or you put it in a kind of warm room or something, yeah, you can get some chickens. I mean, you can put it in perfect incubation temperature and not get a birth. And, there's a lot of variables that go beyond just having a temperature, right? So we've got, this is a cell, right? This is a cell that's gotten to this, and then this will subdivide, right? When we're eating, we're literally eating this cell that's maintained its form, right? So everything, you guys said everything correct. Are the cells in here? Well, we can take a look and we can look at them. They might be like the egg, right? They're still there, but they're not doing the same thing, right? Now, if you then you leave this wood out, like you leave the egg out, is it going to be a host for bacterial growth, right? Well, we can see here, is it? If we left a live log out here and left it for a couple months, would that grow things on it? Fungus. Yeah, fungus would be the first thing. So fungus will invade. It'll create rhizomal networks all through the log, and then once you see the mushrooms, that's like game over, right? That means that it's even flowering through the log, and now the entire log is basically a mushroom seed bed, or body. In fact, it's the mushroom cap that's actually just one kind of sexual organ for one range of fungus, of types of fungus. So, but this, if you actually got a cross section of it, you would see that throughout the whole log, right? So that would be the first organism. Welcome. And yeah, it would do that, but this one does not, right? We've sort of treated it. We've covered it. It's no longer got enough to for us to maybe say that it's alive now, and or for us to say that it could be the seed bed for another type of organism to come along and want to feed on it and stuff like that, right? But the cell is still there. And the cell, you'll see that the question of the cell and what happens to the cell and where the cell comes from is really, really key for all of this, yeah? Every detail of this and the idea that somehow, what is life exactly? Let me field a couple of definitions. What do you guys think? When I'm asking you all these, is this have a cell, does it not? Or it does, but they're not alive and so on. What is that distinction? When do you actually start saying that something is alive? That's the worst slide to leave up.
Some interaction with the environment, right?
Some interaction with the environment.
Yes.
Does this interact with the environment? We can agree this is dead, yeah? You can't cook this and eat it like an egg, so yeah, we could, otherwise we're, yeah? So is this interacting with the environment?
It could. It could bend when
In an active way.
Not like the way we invented.
like
In a less active way, so it's not interacting as much with the environment? So life interacts more with the environment than dead things, non-live things? So this, you're saying it could and so on, yeah, it can bend, it can,
I press it microscopically, it's bending.
yeah. Right.
Well,
Right.
but it doesn't trace for the nutrition, and it doesn't like have the process of life and die. Right? It just a wood anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't breathe. It doesn't produce anything. It doesn't produce waste.
It doesn't have like a span of life.
Okay.
In his way of being like a table, it has been in the past, like
Uh-huh.
from the wood, like from the tree, and like for becoming a table, but not like a live thing,
Right.
from born into dying.
Okay. And it doesn't breathe, you said?
Yeah, it doesn't multiply. The eggs or like a table. it
Can you
doesn't
think of any life forms that don't breathe? Does everything need to breathe?
I don't think any kind of like life form doesn't breathe. Right?
Does bacteria breathe?
No, I mean breathe.
Breed.
Yeah.
Okay. So it needs to breed.
Yeah. So they need to like multiply themselves or basically find a way to have like a continuous life to extend the generation. That's it.
Okay. What do you guys think? Breed, not breathe. Breed. Yeah. What do you think? Yeah? Breed. Any other ideas about what constitutes? So if I were to say, okay, that thing doesn't breed, the table doesn't breed, yeah? I want to be clear about why I don't think that this is alive. It's not breeding right now, okay? I don't find it appealing. It doesn't find me appealing, yeah? Not as far as I know. It can't express that anyways, right? Yeah. If it does, it's really suffering because it can't say anything, yeah. Yeah, don't think about that too long, yeah. What else? Is that it? Yeah, that's actually really good. That's you know a lot of times there's a lot of other things like reproduction and like the like taking certain forms and actually the interaction thing and things like breathing, and there's a lot of things where you sort of, but you guys nailed a couple of things that for me are some of the more convincing, that there is this sort of cycle, right? There is a cycle, but what allows something? This is something we can ask, right? This can be the next step. What allows you this cycle of birth and death? If this is key, if this lifespan thing, like this is just sort of it's an entropic thing. Like it's just table, and it'll just kind of table out of existence, right? If you leave this for like hundreds of thousands of years, it'll just kind of, entropy. It'll just kind of decay. But we have this weird kind of thing where we'll organize more and then, but what's maintaining that? Why doesn't this do something like energy?
Yeah, well, they interchange energy with the environment. For example, I take energy
Yeah,
and then I survive,
yeah.
right? I can reproduce, I can do whatever I want.
You take energy.
I can actually take energy.
Mm.
I'm a human being, right? So
Right.
I'm feeding myself.
Right.
So this is chemical energy.
You're feeding or feeling? You don't have to answer that. We can leave that ambiguous if you want. Yeah? No, okay. Feeding or feeling, depending on the time of day. Yeah? Okay.
And there is a sort of evolution in living things. They evolve, while static things, they will not.
They evolve.
Yeah,
Okay.
table stays a
Mutate.
table.
Like,
They mutate.
Mutation,
Right.
more dynamic.
Change.
Changes.
So, but if I leave this outside
Yeah.
for 1,000 years, it's going to change, right? This is another one of the snafus for me. It's not the same type of change. Decay. Decay is a life thing. This will decay. Okay. Yeah. Living beings also decay. Yeah.
so we can understand what is me if we understand what is dead.
So it means the table does like me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just because it's dead, right? That actually proves it's alive. Oh my God.
It sounds like our understanding of the life cycle is very
Yeah? Limited?
It's
Yeah?
very limited to our understanding of like plants going through succession and then going through like the life cycle and then it's dead. But then it's arguably it still goes through like a positive and negative feedback no matter whether it's alive or not. So it's like if there's a fire, its fate's gonna change no matter if it's like the wood here or the wood on the trees. But then but then metaphorically, some people say, "Oh, this feels alive. This I feel energy from it and things like that." But then there's the life cycle of something being like alive and something that's dead. But then also after that's dead, it is still continuing the decaying process
Right.
and going to the new stage of life,
Uh-huh.
like your perception of this thing.
Okay. So, if a tree falls in a forest, okay, and it's actually a dead table, and it never liked me, do I care? Yeah, do I care? No, so you're exploding in a way their definitions of life, right? And I think in a very good way. You're saying that there are sort of ecosystems. There are geographical kind of systems that are behaving in a way that's analogous to what you guys are describing as exclusive to life. If they're wrong, do you A, have another offering for what makes something alive and not, or do you think there's no boundary at all that we can come up with?
There are certainly boundaries, and
What are they?
depending on the context we're talking about.
The context of being in Shanghai at my workshop, and I need an answer right now. Otherwise, we can't go on to the next slide, and you have to keep looking at my dumb face here. Yeah. You want another photo? You want another photo? Yeah. You want another? Oh, okay. What's that?
I think the table is that because it does not have a soul.
There's no soul. Okay.
There is no soul.
Okay.
That's why yeah, but man that think the table like was made by the man, and what's about a piece of rock, like falling from the mountain.
Okay.
It has not a soul.
Okay.
And should we consider it like a live thing or non-alive?